Back to lesson 2 of algebra, paper number 1. So here we're going to be looking at evaluating algebraic expressions, and you're going to find this on page number 3 of your notes. Now, I want you to pop over to this page here, and we're going to be working from this page and just a little bit on from there. Let's get started. So we're starting here, and you'll see this on the top of page number 3 with evaluating algebraic expressions. Now, just a couple of things here to kind of have in your mind. Sometimes we refer to evaluating as substitution. Or we might say the words subbing. So basically, when we're evaluating an expression, we're subbing in values for variables. So we might be told x is 2, and we're going to sub that in for x. Now, when we're subbing in or substitution or evaluating, we need to make sure we use brackets. That's really, really important here. Also, just a little reminder from our previous lesson, when I speak about an expression, remember, is there an equals to sign? No, there's not. So we can't solve, we can only evaluate. Now we're going to jump straight into these questions over to exercise 2.1, and you'll find this on page number 5. And I've picked a kind of array of these questions, so you're going to see which question on here. It should be pretty clear. I've picked 3. So the first one here, A, we're asked to evaluate the following. 2x plus 4, where x is equal to 5. So what we want to do here, nice and quickly, is we see x here, and our examiner has told us that x is equal to 5. So we want to sub in that x as 5. So how are we going to do that to maximize our marks and ensure that we're taking the right steps to get the marks, whether it be low, mid, high marks, or full marks in our exam? So here we have 2. We open our bracket. When we sub in, we always sub it in brackets. X is 5 plus 4. So here we have 2 bracket 5 plus 4. Now, then brackets are really, really important, because if we do not then place them brackets in, it means that, it's not actually subbing into the expression we were given. So here we have 2 times 5. Again, brackets mean multiply. 2 times 5 is going to leave me at 10. Bring down my plus 4. 10 plus 4 is going to leave me with 14. So here my answer is 14. Again, mark it up for your examiner. So that's my first one, A. So we're going to move across the page now over as far as E. So for E here, you're going to see E here. E is x squared plus xy. So a little bit more difficult, but let's take a look. So here we see x, and our value for x is 3. We see y, and my value for y is 4. So let's sub each of these in. So here we have x to be squared. So open my bracket here, place in my 3, and close my bracket. This is to be squared. Plus, again, x here, open my bracket. X again is 3. Close my bracket, times y, and y here is 4. Now, again, the brackets are really important, because if we do not place the brackets in like this, we're not showing our examiner the correct calculation. So here we have, to start off, we have 3 to be squared. So 3 to be squared, basically all that means there, when I say 3 squared, that means 3 times itself. So 3 times 3, which is going to equal to 9. Again, don't be afraid to check these things on your calculator. So 3 squared is going to leave me with 9. Bring down my operation, plus. And over here we have 3 times 2. Again, brackets meaning multiply. 3 times 2 is going to leave me with 12. So when we calculate these together, 9 plus 12 is going to leave me with 21. And I'm going to mark that off again, make it nice and clear for my examiner at the end. Final one. Going to move on as far as K, a little bit more difficult. So when we're looking at K, just jumping over as far as here, again, we're squaring each of these. Now, there's one really important thing I want us to kind of focus on here when we see this minus 2. Keep this in your head. This is very, very important. This is a common mistake for students in the ordinary level Leaving Cert exam. So we're going to start off here. We have x. We can see x is 3. That's perfect. We have y. We can see y is going to be minus 2. And finally, we see z. Z is going to be 4. Now, for each of these, what do I have? So x is 3. So place in my 3, close my bracket and make sure that's squared. Y is next. Y is minus 2, okay? Make sure you have a bracket around that, minus 2, and again, close the bracket. That's to be squared. And finally down here we have z. Z is going to be 3. I'm going to place this in black because the green is quite hard to see on camera. So 4 to be squared. Now for each of these, we're going to square them out separately. So again, just a little reminder here, we said it over here. If we have 3 squared, remember that's 3 times itself. So to start off, 3 squared is going to leave me with 9. I'm going to place that back into a bracket there. Then we have minus 2 to be squared. Now this is very important because on your calculator, if you see on your calculator minus 2 squared, so just let me show you this. You might take your calculator out for a second and just check this. If you plug in on your calculator minus 2 squared, exactly like that, it's going to tell you minus 4. Now that there is incorrect. Because if you think about minus 2 to be squared, that actually means minus 2 times minus 2. So minus 2 times itself. Here, minus by minus is going to leave me with a plus. I don't have to write that down, but I will. And 2 times 2 is 4. So actually, minus 2 to be squared isn't minus 4, it's 4. And that's really, really important. Now, why did that error occur? That error occurred on your calculator because you didn't place that bracket around your minus 2. And all your calculator was doing was squaring the digit 2 and then multiplying by the minus. So we have to be very, very careful when we sub it in our calculator. We're saying bracket minus 2 to be squared is going to give me 4. And again, that will give me the correct answer. Just be very, very careful of that, okay? So here we have minus 2 to be squared. We can see that that's 4. And finally down the end, we have 4 squared. 4 squared is going to leave me with 16, okay? Now we're going to multiply 1 by 1. So again, you can plug this all straight into your calculator. And again, grabbing my calculator here, we can check this at the end. We're going to start off with these two. You can plug this all in together. 9 times 4, 9, 18, 27, 36 is going to leave me with 36. And finally, bring down my 16, we have 36 times 16. 36 times 16 is going to give me 576. Had to grab my calculator to check that. So there, 576 is my answer, marking it off for our examiners. Now guys, that is evaluating algebraic expressions or substitution. But again guys, notice how we're going step by step by step all the time. And the reason we're going step by step by step is if we do make a mistake, we want to show the examiner our errors, because then we don't lose all the marks. We may lose a few, but not them all. Guys, thanks for listening. That's the end of lesson 2 on algebra.